Welcome back to the Yonko Podcast here on the Yonko Adventures. I'm Burke.
I'm Kat.
And I'm Brock.
And we are going to be doing our review of One Piece Chapter 1090, Kizaru. But before we get into that, please, if you like this content and you want to see more, please like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell so you always get notifications when we upload new content. Check out some of our other stuff if you want something a little outside of One Piece. But with that, let's talk about this chapter, guys.
Yars!
Yeah.
Anything stand out specifically? There was a lot of good stuff in
A lot of
this.
details.
I really enjoyed this chapter. First off, I'm just gonna say, I love that Luffy will never stop stealing the phone or answering the phone that he shouldn't be on,
And also
just saying, like,
everything.
just always saying like what he dreams.
Well, yeah, and I love literally that his tagline there is like, "Hi, I'm Luffy, and I'm gonna be king of the pirates."
Yeah.
Every time he picks up the phone.
That's my epitaph until I am the king of the pirates. So I'm the man who will become the king of pirates.
Well, whatever my dream is after that.
Yeah.
And
whatever
then
that leads to.
Then it's just a stream of consciousness speaking.
Yeah.
Just that
No filter.
sleeve coming undone, the heart on the sleeve.
I've never seen Luffy actually try to threaten somebody here, like specifically like this.
So what this says to me is he's trying to, because they're obviously trying to use a hostage.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy,
Doesn't do that.
he doesn't do that really. He did it with Helmeppo way back when.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think he would have let him actually get shot.
Yeah.
I think this is him like, what would an actual bad guy do? Well, this is gonna be kind of fun, role playing type thing.
I think that'd be so funny if that was actually the logic.
Yeah.
I think that'd be wonderful.
Because we saw it as like, I figure if they said that, they'd back off. You know, I'm like, Luffy,
Yeah.
it's not that simple, Luffy.
Bless
your heart.
I love that Morgans and Vivi and Wapple are listening in on this.
And BB's like, what the fuck,
like,
Luffy?
what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, I know you punched me in the face one time, but this is too far.
Yeah. Man.
But like, legitimately, like, even Morgans is like, what? Like, the look in his eye is so perfect for, like, he just was not prepared to hear this.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's not going to happen, but I am hoping that Lucci is feeding them
False
info.
We'll get there. Because also, this is the first time Luffy's spoken to the Gorosei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a direct line to the Pangea Castle.
They've always been so in the shadows for him, and this is the first time he speaks to them. And of course, he's just so unabashedly himself.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah.
But also, like, I can't believe the nonchalance of this moment that, like, I actually had to think about it after the fact. Or I'm like, he's never spoken to these folks before.
And that's also the kind of the fun thing about this final saga, is that so many things that would have been big pre-Wano, now it's like now it's just it's an expected next step.
Yeah.
And everything that happens is so big that it's like we can't be like it's just gonna keep happening. Like fucking Elbaf, you know, like except Luffy and Usopp are like, we're finally going there. Like all the fans are at.
Yeah.
Luffy and Usopp were the fans.
Luffy and Usopp were absolutely the fans in that
There.
moment.
And then I'm like, oh, we're finally going there. Shanks gonna be there? Who knows?
Probably not at that point.
Probably not. He'll find a way to sneak away.
Cut to St. J. Garcia Saturn, and of course, he's just a fucking straight thug.
He's savage.
Like, oh,
I mean, I think we
just kill humans. They'll always find a way to multiply anyway.
I think we had like we definitely had that inclination based off their first conversation with Imu, where it's like, yeah, there's an acknowledgement that humans are living beings, albeit very, very not high on the priority list.
Yeah.
And it's just bold-faced, like, this
reinforces
is
that
confirmation. Like, they can always grow more.
But obviously, yeah, here's where we get our first thing about Rob Lucci and like trying to, they're feeding info to them. Me and Kat are actually, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely on Kat's side with this. I I kind of want the info to be fake.
No, me too.
Or at least not fully accurate.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I personally am not mad either way.
Yeah.
Because one of two things. One, Lucci has just proven himself to continually be that villain, and he's going to do whatever it takes to follow his dark justice. Or he being super... He's not sharing with the Straw Hats because he doesn't necessarily trust them, but he also knows that the world government doesn't give a shit about his life.
Yeah.
And so...
I mean, I would hope at this point, considering... I mean, he's smart. He should know, like, they technically failed their mission.
Yeah.
That they're very low on the totem pole of saving. And even if they do get saved, like, he's gonna be in trouble anyway, so...
Yeah, it's hard to see, though. It's hard to see with him, because this is... Honestly, this is the... despite how much we see of him in Enies Lobby, you don't really hear any, like... distinctive things about him besides his cold-heartedness during the arc. You don't really learn about him as a person besides that. And so now we're getting like a straight up, front row look.
We're getting like a character study.
Like we're actually looking at who he is in depth.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. It looks like we're gonna get that with two unexpected characters, him and Kizaru.
Can I just say, and I'm looking at the small details of this chapter right now.
Well, there's a lot of small details.
Because there's so many that I'm like, I am so happy that Oda's having a moment between Robin and Chopper again.
Yes.
Because like some of their moments are just so sweet and
They
tender.
are. You keep sending me memes
No, I know.
of like Robin, Zorro, and Chopper being a little family, and I'm like, oh, I never wanted that, but now I do.
Yeah.
No, and I think one of the favorite Zorro Chopper moments is when he's like, "You got this?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "My man."
Dude, seriously.
During Wano.
During Wano, that
Or it was
the
like
best.
Zorro, big brother type thing.
Yeah.
But also, I just liked how when she mentioned O'Hara, the Straw's like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Yeah, don't talk about fucking O'Hara in front of Robin!
It's like, she's healing, bitch. And it's like, that's...
Robin's just like, it's good.
They're such a
I'm
family.
good.
It looks like the ellipses there where she's like...
I mean, you could see Nami in the next one. Zorro's coming in, too, to go get...
Well, I think he's trying to stop her. As
He's trying to stop Nami.
This is like, she's unarmed. Come on, don't.
Yeah.
She's a bitch, but let's.
Yeah.
But no, it's just lovely to see that family, that camaraderie.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't you talk shit to our Robin.
And Bonnie and Luffy.
No, I was gonna say.
down.
So focusing on that panel specifically, you got obviously Kaku's beat up in the background. Lilith is cradling Edison, and he's a little worse for wear. Atlas is doing all right, which is nice. And then Luffy and Bonnie chowing down. And Sanji's just almost like admiring his handiwork. I can't tell if he's specifically looking at Bonnie there or if he's just like...
Where's Stussy in that panel?
Stussy... Oh, Franky's off to the side there, I just realized. I don't see Stussy.
Because I think the
In
next
that
time we
panel,
see Sanji
we-
he's like...
Yeah, he's obviously simping over
Yeah.
Over
her.
Stussy. Yeah.
And then Usopp's being Usopp, which is great.
He's pulling her names.
I love the... I want to see what the official release looks like, but I love for the scans the fonts that they used for Lucci's muttering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comic Sans.
Yeah.
Also, on that same panel, same wide panel,
the big
going to that scarred Vice Admiral. I do believe he was the same Vice Admiral who dove into Lucci's backstory way back during Enies Lobby. And so it makes you wonder if there's some kind of direct connection to Lucci there, or if it's just like, he's like, oh, if he's willing to do this to our dark heroes, what do we do to the rest of us type thing? Because he definitely seems like, he's obviously a hard ass. Like, we've seen him say some hard ass stuff whenever we see him. But this guy's applying it to all of humanity. He's like, okay. So,
you know what? I didn't say just because I forgot about predictions from our last set of predictions.
Yeah, what's up?
I actually got what I wanted. We moved forward.
Oh yeah, we moved forward. Yeah. No, it's super cool. I'm sure we'll get what happened.
We'll get more
coming back.
Well, and I mean, we got at least a smidge of that with S-Snake.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that Lucci's accurate here, though, that two of them are dead? Do you think there's hope for Shaka and Pythagoras at all?
So, I'm thinking it could be, and I'm thinking that could line up with our previous thought on Lucci. Is I think if he's feeding false information, that's part of the false information. If it's actually legit and he's betraying, or he's,
just biting.
He's just biting, then he probably believes they're dead, or they might actually be dead because they took serious hits. Like,
oh, absolutely.
I'm definitely not gonna discount it. But I will always stand by my thing. Prove to me it's dead. Like,
have the body. I get it.
Not even have the body. Have a grave, or just have someone more trustworthy, like say Vegapunk.
I just mean like have proof.
Yeah, proof. Like if Vegapunk says it, I will believe it because Vegapunk is actually connected to them.
Yeah.
So I think it could go either way. I think we won't know until Luchi shows what way he's turning with this.
I hope that because he saw Gear 5, he's gonna have a change of heart, or at least slight change of alliance. Because do you think he knew about it before, like what Luffy's power truly was?
No, absolutely not.
Do you think he knew about it?
I don't think he was in the know, or in the need to know for that.
But do you think he understood what it was once Luffy pulled it out?
I'm not sure. What do you think about that, Brock?
I don't think he knew. I don't think he cares. I think he's
ultimately he just wants to kill Luffy.
I think he saw...
Or at least in that...
I think he saw the man who made him fail his mission 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because, like, here's the thing. Like, even after he did that to him, he wasn't phased. He was like, I will never acknowledge you as an emperor.
No, like, legitimately. Even though he just got beat the shit out of, he still is like,
yeah.
I will never acknowledge you.
And that's the thing about zones, is they're ridiculous, healing and, like, rejuvenation. So, it wouldn't take long for it to bounce back, especially being an awakened.
Which, that also just makes so much more sense on Luffy specifically.
Yeah. His rejuvenation stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys think that... Sorry, I'm like trying to keep us like moving downward.
Yeah.
Do you think this act of kindness towards these CPs will be a thing that helps them?
Yes,
I think so.
Because I don't know why Oda would need to show us this.
Yeah, he wouldn't make that. He wouldn't make that such a big panel if it wasn't worth showing. I think because like,
will this almost be like a kind of a Punk Hazard situation where like ultimately like
maybe
they end up working with them because
they might. I can totally see them like dressing them, like fixing themselves up and pretending to be like escaped, agents who are here to report and say the Straw Hats went this way or whatever, maybe to give false information to themselves.
Okay.
Maybe if Luchi is the one who does give real information, they're the ones who will give false information that overturns that.
And if like the false information is like well supported by a more than Luchi,
yeah, because
it might be enough to sway
the guy who just will not like see reason versus the people who have all been saved by this obviously good force.
Yeah,
that'd be poetry right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, with Luchi, he's one of the few people I would not be mad at for doing this because he could go either way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like either way, he's being true to himself, and he's a cold-hearted bastard. So,
which is why I love him.
Yeah, no, he's a great villain.
I love him and Dofi. Can't help it. Okay, so obviously they're all celebrating, and like some of them are like, well, they're still the enemy. We can't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did we talk about why the elders are actually gonna follow through on saving York?
Because ultimately, like, we'll get. Was it later or earlier in the chapter that he says
the three things is just before
is so we need to
save York.
We need
York
to save
safety,
York because then she has access to Punk records,
which we can access through her, which is.
So here's the thing: they need a Vegapunk to access those, or to do it forcefully. But this is the easier way. So if they grab her, that's the easiest.
And if they submit to all of her demands, like make me a Celestial Dragon, okay.
I mean, they don't give a shit about humans. Like, yeah, whatever. They probably don't give a shit about the Celestial Dragons.
Well, that's why I was like, do they actually care about her safety, or is it that's just the easier way to get to the records?
Only in the sense that if she dies, if they lose access to these.
If they get her, they get the other two.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Not necessarily the power station.
Well, as long as they don't blow it up.
Yeah.
Which that's why he's specifically like, keep that safe, keep her safe. We can access Punk records through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, yeah. So she's worth keeping alive because of her.
It's just the way it's worded makes it seem like hers is the fact that he also listed that's number one. It's
So-
her safety. Because to me, it would be, I don't know, just
I
punk
think-
records, which we could get by keeping York safe type of thing. So let's make sure we get her.
I think it's kind of a like this leads into these. I think it's like your safety.
It's literally like without her, we don't have someone who's willing to keep creating the Mother Flame for us, and then also someone who's willing to share with us punk records.
Yeah, she's rare in that she's the only punk willing to betray the other punks.
Yeah,
Okay.
because of her desire to be a Celestial.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Or to live an easier life, whatever it is.
So we've got, obviously, all of our Seraphim that were a threat to us are now trapped in bubbles. Of course.
I love how Jinbei is just like super, just like meditative, it seems like. Just kind of I'm just here.
Mihawk is so bent out of shape.
Mihawk is kind of rambunctious, it seems like. He does not.
It's just like, this is an
Do you think Mihawk, as a kid, had a moment like Zorro?
That would be cool.
Because, like...
I would not be surprised if Zorro minded himself.
Stoic now. Maybe he had a moment like Zorro.
It would be super cool.
Where he got put in his fucking place.
It'd be super cool. And this is obviously a lot of wishful thinking, I think, but also possibility. Maybe the reason we haven't had a lot of, like, Zorro backstories, maybe that connects directly into Mihawk. Maybe Mihawk has crossed swords with Zorro's father.
Interesting.
Mihawk's old enough.
No, yeah, that's fair.
So that would be... It wouldn't be the first time that an arc was used to look into someone else's backstory.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that would be super cool. Not saying it will happen, but it doesn't have to be Zorro's father. It could be just someone from his clan, someone with a similar look. I don't know, but like...
Yeah. And then Kuma's just Kuma.
Yeah, he's just
like,
Kuma.
That's Bear.
So, and with the S-Snake thing, that wasn't even to brag. That was literally what I was hoping would happen because it makes so much sense to me.
No, it makes so much sense that if these are genetic clones of these people, something about Luffy would stick out to S-Snake as much as it did to Boa Hancock.
That makes me
normal
so happy. Like that makes me inconceivably happy. Like, because it's just so adorable. Because I remember saying, I was like, I would love to see that kind of like kid love towards Luffy that she would have being
she has the it's so cute as like a little kid crush on like someone older.
And like she's like, what? You said you want to marry me?
Yeah.
Yes,
you said, did you just say love you?
Yeah.
No, that's great.
It took me a moment to like figure out how she got that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Love you, Hancock.
Oh.
Do you say love you?
Yep. There it is. Okay. I love that Jinbei is still just so absolutely in the know about normal Hancock.
Yep.
And then he's just like.
I mean, and it wouldn't make sense. Because like he Hancock, at least post Summit War, she talked to him more than anyone else we've seen besides Rayleigh and Luffy.
Yep.
So like and also the fact that he's with
I'm
Fisher
not
Tiger's crew.
Surprised by it. I just love remembering that aspect of it.
Yeah, and I just every time I see Jinbei, I just get happy too.
And of course,
when he's smiling.
Vegapunk being the stereotypical scientist of just like, oh, that's fascinating. I must write this down.
Cola.
Oh my gosh, that interaction is the best.
Yeah.
When we get there.
So we'll get there.
But it is interesting though that if adult Boa acted that way towards Luffy, and so now baby Boa does too. What other unique traits of the adults are going to be passed on to the Seraphim?
I really hope that a string or whatever they call him just has all of Tofi's just sadism towards the world. I
can just picture a little baby Dofi, though.
Like, legitimately. Well, and obviously you're talking, like, baby Dofi, we have bits of baby Dofi where he fucking kills his dad, just, like, in cold blood.
Yeah.
Like, Motherfucker was bad from the get-go.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about young Crocodile to know what kind of traits.
Maybe it's through young Crocodile that will
Be a baby.
that will learn. I'm not saying what you're probably thinking. I'm saying we'll maybe finally learn the secret that Ivankov has over him.
Fair enough.
Which might be that. Who knows?
Might be that.
That's what a lot of people guess.
Good old Crocomon.
A shit ton of people have guessed that. They were like, so did he used to be a woman?
Anyway, and then
Baby Buggy? Is that gonna be?
I don't know because we only saw.
Dude, that might be kind of cool because he was.
Oh, I'm forgetting. He's an Emperor current, so they wouldn't have had a chance to work with him.
They might have.
But
He was a warlord.
He was a warlord for about 2 years.
okay, so we might.
Yeah,
They
might
potentially also have a law.
Yeah,
Baby
so
law.
I mean, that might be particularly like touching because we all were like after that chapter with Buggy Man,
Okay.
that changed.
Yeah, but
much.
maybe Baby Buggy's is he feels upward as well.
No, but also
That's
there's
the
like,
trait that somehow.
but also what I'm thinking is like there might be more of that sincerity to him, like back when he was actually chasing a dream before he rediscovered it. So
in that same thing, what if he's literally the weakest seraphim, but because everybody sees the wings and the white hair and the flame, they just surrender immediately? And somehow, like, that seraphim becomes the world government's biggest asset. Wouldn't that be so funny?
That would be.
becomes the co-captain of the Cross Guild.
Like, legitimately, oh my gosh. So, Frontier Dome's not responding. We can't leave without disabling that barrier. And so this was a huge confirmation for something back when I wasn't sure who the traitor was. I was like, what if the Vegapunks can choose when they upload things to Punk Records?
And what they upload.
Yeah.
And so, like, this confirmed, like, at least that. So, obviously, now it doesn't matter because we know York's the traitor, but I'm so happy that was the reason nobody could suspect.
That made it easy.
Because she could choose what stuff she was uploading at any point.
Yeah.
That's kind of a
so,
design flaw.
No, that's a
Vegapunk.
huge design flaw on Vegapunk's part.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's fine. Like, I
guess
I don't have a
free will.
problem with that. It's just literally like, why wouldn't you think about that?
You
You were
gave them free
literally
will.
putting desire into one body, and that means so many possible things.
To me, I think so Vegapunk,
But I guess it could also.
he's so much of a brain guy. He doesn't really think about the physical needs. So I don't think he even could even imagine what, because he doesn't have normal. He doesn't, or at least if he does have normal desires, they're overshadowed by his
smarts.
his intellectual.
Well, I was gonna
So.
say, if it's every single thought that goes through their head or anything gets uploaded, they don't need to know. I gotta pee.
That's fair.
Like, they don't need to know those. Like, how it depends on how it's uploaded in that.
It's
Whether
fair.
it's like it automatically uploads into a folder and you have to go look for the information you want. If when you sync, or is it automatically shared that you just know everything that everyone else uploaded?
No,
like,
it's
that would be why I could understand why you pick and choose, because she only needs to upload the important stuff. Or maybe it's only her that has this feature because she's desires.
I'm not gonna lie. Looking at York's eyes just reminds me of Freddy Fazbear.
She has a little poofball ears.
She's kind of got the animatronic Freddy Fazbear eyes going on.
I mean, if they hadn't already cut to this point in the arc, we could have definitely had some Five Nights at Freddy's vibes going on with some of what was going on the island.
Yeah.
Before all of this. But no, to Kat's point, like, that actually would make sense that, like, you wouldn't want to have an upload of a stream of consciousness
because
constantly.
she's literally there.
Because ultimately, like,
At least not for her.
I think for any of them.
She's literally there just to take care of the natural needs.
I think for some of them it might be good. Because when you're like writing an essay and you have a thought and if you don't write it down you forget what the thought is and you're like, that was really a great thought. But now I can't remember it. That's one where it would be good for like the sciencey ones to have that stream of consciousness upload so that they can then go back and be like, oh, what did I write? Or what did I think before?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if this... I personally wouldn't be surprised if this betrayal is also might be born out of some potential abandonment issues, because it would not surprise me if him being the super scientist he kind of didn't really pay attention to the the desires.
Yeah.
He focused on all like the tech guys and the people who,
she was probably like the baby or the middle child of the group, where she was just kind of left and forgotten about, to entertain herself.
I wouldn't be surprised if that came out of this. If not, then she's
negative attention is still attention type of thing.
Yeah, and if not, she's just desire. It could be either way. But yeah, no, that'd be an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, because she would also have the emotional needs.
She would definitely,
so absolutely that
she would be the most emotional.
Whereas the other ones wouldn't notice that they're getting all the attention, and she does.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Finally heading to Elbaf, which is great that when they were on Wano, we had 3 different log poses, and we just chose this one because obviously they drew the short straw on that.
But also, it was originally supposed to be someplace else.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be this place. If they hadn't come here...
Yeah.
Yeah. It
If
wasn't
they hadn't
it wasn't supposed to be Egghead.
They didn't know Egghead was here. Egghead, wasn't it?
I don't think Egghead was the original destination.
Why do you say that?
I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be something else.
I don't know if they knew where they were going. They just picked a direction, I think.
Well, no, they had the choice of 3 places.
3 directions.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know, because I felt like they found this place on accident, if I recall.
I feel like you're right.
I don't think this was the path.
I think we speculated because that was the same chapter Lelucia got blown up. But
Maybe.
Lelucia's not in the...
No, I'm talking about Lucia. I just don't think this was the place they were supposed to originally go to.
I thought it was. So.
But that would make no sense, though. Why would they put that straight in the path?
From what?
They would keep that hidden.
Yeah, why would the government allow people to find Egghead?
Why would Vegapunk do that?
Well, technically, I wouldn't say that that's the case. Because you're talking about a bunch of other islands, and we're following the Straw Hat's specific journey. It's the same thing.
Well, I know, but I don't think this place is supposed to be found naturally via log posts.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna disagree with that.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay. Anyway, it's great that Nami still has a log post pointing to what Vegapunk already knows is gonna be Elbaf.
Yeah.
Because now it's thank God, we're going to Elbaf. Which is what most of us thought was gonna be next after Wano.
It's after.
But I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because this is feeling very Zoe right now, where
Zoe.
Zunisha.
Zoe-like.
The elephant. Zoe-like. That's what this feels like now.
Any others? Any other things to stop there?
No. Shut up.
Anyway. But
so with that being said...
Yeah, no. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what it'll be like when they get there. I just don't know what to expect. We've been waiting for Elbaf since Little Garden.
Is Luffy gonna beat the shit out of Loki? That'd be funny.
We're gonna learn some important shit on Elbaf.
Yes, sir.
I feel like Elbaf is gonna be an extreme lordom.
Well, especially now that we know that Saul's there with the library, essentially.
Yeah.
I love Stussy's little. Will you quit glowering at me?
Yeah.
I betrayed you. It's not like I killed someone.
Yeah, seriously. My God.
And he's just like,
get over it.
Get over it. I do. If Luchi is feeding like valid info to them, to the government, I hate that Vegapunk is talking about this strategy of getting out of here.
Yeah.
Right in front of him.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? But of course, like
I think we were already not expecting. I think they were already not expecting Luchi to work with them in the first place. So I think now they kind of let down their guards, if that is the case. Or maybe Luchi's just thinking ahead. Who knows?
Well, this turns into like a Persona 5 moment.
He's a catchy.
Where he's a catchy, and like the Straws have actually like gotten one up on him the whole time.
Yeah.
And it was all because he said the word pancakes.
Mona said pancakes.
Or he heard, yes.
Was it waffles?
It was pancakes.
Okay.
But do you like waffles?
I do.
Anyway. And then, so we get to Vegapunk and Franky finally speaking, which I am so happy about. Because, some of the funniest shit has happened with Franky in regard to Vegapunk's technology. His whole island experience during the time skip is seriously, every time I revisit it, it's so funny to me. Just that he, blows up Vegapunk's original lab on his homeland. But then, of course, he learns so much from his notes and everything. And that made him a better
inventor,
and it's great. And then him and Vegapunk basically sharing notes because he's like, it's powered by coal, and he's like, coal? I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
What?
What is this guerrilla science?
Yes. And then I love. I want to know why Lilith isn't involved in this specific thing, but I love that the three Vegapunks coming together to be like, we're gonna crack your damn code, York.
Well, Lilith went with Luffy and the others.
Oh, good point. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Foiled again by my memory. Anyway. It's literally pointed out the next panel again.
So this is...
go ahead.
This is the most we've, ever heard from Kizaru.
Dude. Right.
Excuse me, sorry. And I'm
He's weirdly honorable.
I'm glad we're finally getting to see him.
Yeah.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah.
Because and I told this Alex, Alex, I'm not the most interested in him, but I do want to know more about him. The biggest thing about him.
Is it possibly, and not to crap on Alex here, is it possibly selfish desire to know more about him so that we can put to rest some of Alex's theories?
I don't know.
Or just we're actually genuinely curious.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, for you.
Oh, I'm genuinely curious.
Okay.
No, here's the thing about Kizaru. I don't hate him as a character. I hate some of the things Alex wants to believe about him just because of certain
that's fair.
things that it might lead to. But as a character, he's so very hard to read, and I think it'll be nice to finally understand, where he stands as a person, what his justice means to him. Mm-hmm. And granted, this honorable thing, I think this has more to do with the fact that he grew up with what's
Vegapunk?
Sentamaru.
Yeah.
I think if it was someone else, he wouldn't have paid them as much mind. Because we've seen how he was before. Yeah. But I think there's a special connection with Sentamaru that caused him to come down there and face him. Which, I don't know how serious Kizaru is being, but kudos to Sentamaru for blocking that.
Well, so here's the thing. I think he's being serious. I think he's being strategic. Because by all means, he's listen, I could do that, but if I go up there and do it myself, then the pacifistas wipe out all of the ships out here. Mm-hmm. I'm the thing blocking Sentamaru and them from you.
Yeah.
So...
But I would like to think there is that, connection to Sentamaru as well, from childhood. Because they obviously have known each other for a long time.
him talking at length with St. J. Garcia. I really like this. I really enjoy this.
We're finally, like, this is the only person we don't get. I'm glad that we're in the stage where we're getting to know all the Admirals.
Yeah.
Like, we've known plenty about Sakazuku, known plenty about Aokiji. We
even learned a decent amount about
Fujitora. I mean, hell, at this point, we know more about Green Bull than we knew about Kizaru. Like, just through his actions.
Fair.
You know...
Because he was very bombastic with his actions, so it was very...
He's obviously got
hidden motivations. It was literally just like, this is what I think.
He's like, I am a Sakazuki fan. Eat it. So it's nice to finally get the final Admirals. Hopefully, their true take, their true look. And I love that. How even with with Kizaru's face. That you can tell his emotions from like the speech bubbles there, where it's just kind of like coin, and it just like changes, but his face never changes.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Face right here is like, it's literally the proof in our when we talk about this. But that's just his face. He's not trolling St. J. Garcia Saturn. He's not. It's just how he looks. He just talks like that. That's okay.
That's anime characters.
Yeah, I love it.
Because the fact of the matter is they still needed orders to go against Luffy because he's an emperor now.
Yeah.
So this is probably and he's got the Nika fruit. So it's an especially important. And there's just so many parts of this that are of like world level importance, like Vegapunk, Mother Flame, Luffy, who's potentially the one thing that can stand against Emu, maybe. I don't know.
It's possible.
And they've got a lot of resources holed up in there. Like they're not defenseless.
Do you think their plan? Maybe we can talk about this in predictions. Do you think their plan is to take York with them?
I think so, because they don't want them to have access to the Mother Flame shit.
And Punk Records.
No. Yeah, I think they will.
Because do you think Punk Records, like, say, this doesn't end up being like what I was initially hoping, where it's like them actually holding out and then destroying everything around them. Do you think Punk Records is just sealed? With it, and like if all the Vegapunks are gone, nobody can access it.
I could see them destroying it on their way out. I don't think they're gonna hole up, so what I'm thinking is there's gonna be clashing on the way out,
of course.
And I think they're gonna destroy stuff as they go. Is my opinion.
But are they gonna destroy Punk Records? Because wouldn't that leave Vegapunk brain dead?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's literally just like it'll be like destroying his brain. I don't know if it's like there's more to it than that. Maybe he's got a backup. But you never know with the world's smartest man.
I would make the argument that if Punk Records is destroyed, Vegapunk is either brain dead or dies.
See, that would be a huge weakness, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would make it so that's his one form of having all that stuff. I imagine he backs shit up.
Sure, but I'm reading this as one of the punks has to be the ones to still be producing the Mother Flame, because I still think it has something to do with the energy source that the Ancient Kingdom had that he was talking about when we first met him. And I feel like it's not a weakness for him because Im and the Gorosei need that information.
I don't know. I feel like he knows. I feel like he knew he was working on borrowed time. He's too smart for that.
Fair enough.
I don't think he would like. So the thing with York is that it's all about human desires, which is something he doesn't pay much attention to. Mm-hmm. This is information and knowledge, which is the most important shit in the world to him. He's not gonna just like leave that in one place and like, oh, it's all gone now. I don't think the smartest man in the world is gonna just not account for that. Okay. That seems too big of a flaw in his expertise.
All right. Just wanted to see.
Stop upsetting me, Burke.
So we get to the Sunny, and then I'm gonna call Alex out on this. Both because he was semi-right and like obviously he really wanted to see this come back again. But Kizuru uses the Yada no Kagami to get to the island.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
Here. Obviously, Alex and I had our debates on whether or not he could use that from a far distance without even being able to see the island to do this. Mm-hmm. But this is well within Kizaru's power, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I love the shot of the sea beast as it passes right by his face. Like, I could have been dead, bro. And it's interesting that he goes in, like, decently into the island because he's bouncing through the housing down below, and he's coming towards Sentomaru specifically.
Yeah.
Which, now that I'm reading this again, the pacifistas are along the shore. Sentomaru is somewhere in the center still, and he obviously tells them, like, eliminate all targets.
Yeah.
So, do you think, like, this actually starts to become...
Keep going.
Like a counter... Sorry, I was losing my thought, not because of you.
Sorry.
Do you think this becomes like a counteroffensive by Pacifista while Sentomaru and Kizuru are fighting for a moment? Because it's almost like Kizaru went against J. Garcia Saturn's... Actually, against his own response to Saturn's desire for what we do here.
Yeah. Oh, well, I truly do think that he wouldn't have done this for anyone except, like, Sentomaru because they share a past. Like, we saw a thing where they were all, like, hanging out, seemingly having fun as younger people. Mm-hmm. And so I think he does hold Sentomaru to an extent close in his heart, and I think that he wanted to meet his resolve because he knew he was resolving himself. Because obviously, I think we all agree Sentomaru doesn't stand a chance against Kizaru, and I think he wants to meet that resolve as someone he grew up with. And I mean, I don't know. I think if you if he beats because Sentomaru obviously is the one leading the pacifistas.
Correct.
So maybe by beating him, it'll stop the assault. I'm not sure how that works. If it's just vocal command, maybe there's something with him that like can be used to stop it. Maybe defeating him transfers the authority of it to someone else. I don't know, but I do think this is part personal, part strategic. I think it's personal because it's Sentomaru, strategic because he's the one in command of the pacifistas.
Okay, I got 2 Alexisms for us.
Alexisms?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just because they aren't things that I would normally bring up, but I'm bringing up for his sake.
Yeah, go ahead.
First off, my guard's the toughest in the world, but the last time we saw him fight someone, he got one shot by Luchi.
Now, to be fair on that, like...
I just want to see your thoughts.
Yeah. So, if I recall correctly...
And if you have anything, add something, please.
Yeah.
I will.
If I recall correctly, when that happened... Luchi did kind of like speed in on him when he wasn't really paying attention. I still think it's not to be scoffed at that he did one-shot him, but I also think he wasn't ready to defend against it. Because I do believe, I don't think he's like just bluffing. I think he has a really tough guard.
Okay.
He's probably got a really powerful guard. Like, he's obviously got advanced, armament.
Okay.
So I think that was a matter of like, Luchi was so fast and predatory that he got in there, took him out.
So you would not say that, and this is Alexism number 2, you would not say it's Luchi is stronger than Kizaru. You would just say that it was an unprepared on Sentomaru.
God, no.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Like
I told Alex, if Luffy in Gear 5 were to fight Kizuru, I do think Luffy would win. Mm-hmm. I think he learned way too much from his fight with Kaido to lose in that point. Mm-hmm. But I think it would be extreme difficulty. Mm-hmm. I have no illusions about Kizaru's power. I think he is extremely powerful. I think it would take all of Luffy has at his level to beat Kizaru. And we saw how easily he beat,
Was Kizaru in your top 10 when we did our...
I can't remember. I don't know if any of the Admirals were in my top 10. Maybe...
I think you only said Aki Inu.
Maybe Aki Inu. But that's not to say I don't think he's...
Okay.
He's
So you seriously think it would be extreme difficulty
for Luffy?
For Luffy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like
not just hard.
No.
Okay.
I think so. I don't think Admirals are quite as strong as. Like here's the thing. Like so, the Admirals and the Warlords combined were used to go against the Emperors. Mm-hmm. I do think in the end the Emperors, solely being themselves, are the strongest by themselves. Mm-hmm. Out of those fighters, but I would definitely put the Admirals second in the group, like a very close second. I don't think they're just like. I don't think it's. I think if Luffy's fighting Kizuru, it's gonna be a tough fight.
So a Luffy versus Kizuru, is it more comparable to Luffy versus Kaido or Luffy versus say Dofi?
I would probably say Luffy versus Kaido.
Okay.
I think it'd be more. I think his tiredness would be a result of the damage he's taken, as opposed to being tired out from his own forms. Mm-hmm.
I think another thing that'll play in. I mean, you can see Luffy's face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He knows someone really strong is coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To me, it almost seems like he knows it's Kizuru.
Oh, I'm sure.
The last time he had to fight Kizuru, he lost everything.
It wasn't a fight. It was.
He at least thought he lost everything.
It was straight trauma. Like here's the thing.
This might. I mean, it might also be hard because.
Yeah.
Luffy might have some of that little PTSD flashbacks of, oh shit, like I know I've gotten stronger, but also like
Truly.
He so easily took everything I love and care about.
And truly, and I had this thought too, and this is kind of going on a little tangent, but I'd like to go on this tangent real quick.
Okay.
It would be going back to say 3 people, Nami, Sanji, and Robin. So, Nami and Robin, cool, awesome. They had these big enemies that were chasing them their entire lives, or were over them their entire lives.
Okay.
And then, we had Sanji, who was one of the strongest people in the crew, who's seen this multiple times, but he still chose to go to Whole Cake and leave the Strides behind.
Correct.
When I first watched this, I was annoyed. I'm like, Sanji, you should know better. At first. Mm-hmm. Then the more I got into it, the more I thought about it, and the more I compared it to Nami and Robin, I'm like, it doesn't matter how strong you've gotten. If there is someone in your past who has just been this dark, unholy, unkillable thing, this darkness hanging over you, even if you're stronger than them, you're going to shrink away because that was
the mental.
It was the mental. It's the trauma. And so I could totally see the guy who was the start of Luffy's big trauma arc, big trauma saga, Kizaru. I can imagine having some problems there because, like, oh, this is the fucking guy. And, like, also, on the other end, though, I could see it being a cool moment for him to overcome. Mm-hmm. Just to come back. Just to come back.
Well, that's my thing, and not to like get too into prediction-y thing, but I definitely would love. Like, don't get me wrong, this face screams like I remember this person.
Well, it also could be just that they weren't expecting someone, because like they didn't sense him before. I don't think they were expecting an Admiral level here, because they didn't know Kizuru was on those ships.
Fair. I wouldn't say that they didn't expect an Admiral to be
It wasn't really
there.
brought up, though. They didn't really think about it. All they talked about were the numbers. Because here's the thing. If we think about it, the Straw Hats haven't had an Admiral directly sent on them before. Like, in this capacity.
Like, in the sense...
So when Aokiji first appeared, that was happenstance. They happened to meet.
But Kizuru, the first time...
He was there taking out all the pirates.
Yeah, but he was sent because he
his
action.
But this is the first time that it wasn't something they did. This wasn't this for right now. For intents and purposes, there wasn't a reason for them to expect there to be an Admiral on board. Mm-hmm. There's already CP0. There's already hundreds of ships, 30,000 Marines. Like that's already more than 3 times a Buster Call.
Yeah.
And all the Vice Admirals and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think now they're just now saying oh shit, something's coming. I think that could also be the pure surprise of oh, shit's getting real. I haven't felt this since Kaido or something.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Kat.
What do you say, Kat?
I thought you were gonna go somewhere different with it. I was thinking of Luffy's interactions with the Admirals. I mean, Aokiji is just kind of like meh.
But Aokiji was the first time to. No, actually, now that I think about it, every single Admiral, at least the first 3, in their own way, like, showed Luffy how weak he was.
Yeah, but in different ways, though. Yeah. Like, the emotions behind it. Like, Aokiji more targeted Luffy, I feel, right?
Well, I mean...
It was more about, like...
It was more to show him just how weak he was.
Yeah,
and just
but there was
no
no real negative emotion in a way. Whereas with Akainu, it was the actual loss, like, anger. Whereas I think...
With Aokiji? Sorry. He was the first time that Luffy learned just what it was to feel helpless in One Piece. He completely beat the Straw Hats. That was their first official, like, full-on loss. So I don't think it'd be discounted. It wasn't as wasn't as crazy because with Kizaru, everybody just got destroyed and sent away.
So I think, like, if Luffy were to go face to face with the Admirals again with Aokiji, he's like, there's not as negative of an emotion. Like, it's you kicked my ass, but it's not a like. With Akainu, it was you killed my brother, and I was so close. I feel like if Luffy were to see Akainu again, the emotions that would be elicited would be more rage and anger. Whereas with Kizuru, it's gonna be fear.
Yeah.
That the emotion, like they affected him all in different ways. That I think the first initial emotion, that like knee-jerk emotion, is gonna be fear versus pain or anger.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think with Aokiji, I don't know that there's going to be like a knee-jerk emotional response for Luffy.
No.
What?
Nothing.
What?
I have to speak for Alex on that. Which is stronger, feelings of fear or anger?
I think it depends on what the outcome is, but...
It depends on the level of fear or anger.
But I think which is more debilitating... Like, fear is absolutely more debilitating, and it goes back to that mental block.
I saw that with Dark during Ringford.
No.
That...
I'm just saying, like, that would be used. I guarantee Alex.
Anger is almost more of a motivator, whereas fear is more of, like, a wall. It inhibits.
I'm just saying Alex would use that as, like, an argument for, like, Kizuru being stronger than Akainu or something like that.
No, I think it's more of the situation they went through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is my thing. So, and on that, it's not... So I don't think that this is, like, so debilitating that he wouldn't get over it in, this arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this would be a quick, all right, let's do this type thing. Yeah. But I think we'd look back, because he hasn't seen Kizaru since Marineford, and, like, the only times he's seen him was when all of his crew got separated from him.
And even then, I don't think he really interacted with Kizuru. Like, he saw Kizuru, but he didn't really interact as much.
But he's in his he's definitely seared in his brain. Like, he'll recognize Kizuru.
Yeah, but it's
No, I mean, in the end, I think Luffy is fully capable of clashing with Kizuru. Yeah. I'm less and less thinking that it's gonna be a full-on fight, just because of the choice to go towards Elbaf. But I don't know, because they like to take huge left turns all the time now. Go ahead.
My thought, though, is... So Kizuru, talking to Saturn, is saying, if I fly over Sentomaru, A, it's a slap in the face, but B, he's going to send all of his people to attack. Mm-hmm. So he then goes directly to Sentomaru, and Sentomaru still sends all of his pacifistas to attack.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was like...
So it's... I'm not sure whether... There's a small part of me that wants to think that Kizuru knew that was going to happen either way and wanted it. Like, he made it seem like, oh, if I go head on, it won't happen. I don't know, like, I'm still kind of on the side that because Kizuru's sense of justice is so murky, undecided, that he might finally see the light and be going against.
He is the light. What are you talking about? So are you thinking that he's been in Turcoat the whole time, or this particular situation has turned him?
I don't know. Because we also don't know exactly what he's going to do to Sentomaru. Or if maybe Kizuru, like, somehow gave Sentomaru the heads up anyway. I don't know if Kizuru planned on Sentomaru sending the pacifistas either way. That's really the determining factor. If he thought that, if I go straight to Sentomaru, he won't attack the Navy. But that kind of seems like a dumb thought to have. If Sentomaru really is standing by Vegapunk, why wouldn't he attack the Navy no matter what Kizuru does?
I can see your point, though.
So it's
I was definitely confused by his thought process in his chat with Saturn.
Yeah, so now I'm almost... I'm trying to see exactly what Kizaru's... Trying to figure out exactly what Kizaru's doing here.
He's kicking him.
Is he kicking him?
Yeah, it's
okay.
his leg.
Okay, yeah, that Sentomaru is blocking with his hands. Is that it? Okay. If it's here I come, and then Kizuru just knocks him down, pulls him back up, and turns around into fighting stance.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, but I would really love that. I don't know. His logic doesn't fully make sense. And that's why I'm almost, part of me is wondering if Kizuru is starting to switch sides.
So,
go ahead, Brock.
I think the most likely thing here, I wouldn't say it's a full-on side switch.
Yeah.
I could see it being a test of Sentomaru's resolve. Because here's the thing. I could see it being... We don't know where Kizaru's thought process lies. He does things so by his own, pace that you just can't plan for it. I'm not going to go so far as say that, he's switching sides. I just can't see that happening with, how they end this chapter, with how Luffy's feeling it. I think there's going to be an inevitable clash with him. Because I do think he is serious about being a cog in the wheel, a cog in the machine.
Yeah.
But I do, like I said, I do think he's showing respect to Sentomaru. But as to his intentions, I can't really say. I will say that if he does turn out to be a turncoat, I will decidedly be disappointed, because I would lose so many good moments. And also, like I told Alex too, it was I just think he'd make such a much more interesting adversary than an ally.
Any other thoughts before we actually go to predictions?
I think it's just that now that we're finally getting a full face of Kizaru, we're able to finally start looking and analyzing at his character.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see if there's any clues on how Kizaru's talking to Sentomaru with the honorifics or not.
I think it's
unfortunately
just
it doesn't seem
elongated
like
in this because
using Kun versus San.
Well, I mean,
Kun is for young men or men that are younger than.
Yeah.
Basically, but I didn't know if there were any other uses of
I think it also is when you're closer as well.
If for women or friends can refer to each other as Kun in a casual context, and women can address a man using it who they're if they're close to them. But I just didn't know if maybe there was some sort of familial tied. Like, if... Because they call each other, like, nephew and uncle and that, and is that actually because they are related, or
I have,
it's just
I have a feeling it's a maid family.
Okay.
I don't think they're related by blood personally.
I have nothing to back that up, but it gives me the vibes of a formed family. I could see Vegapunk adopting these two.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Alrighty, with that out of the way, that was a review of One Piece Chapter 1090. Thanks for sticking with us always, and stay tuned for our predictions for Chapter 1091 and any other content released in the meantime. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.